We are loading into this third series of NASA, the third week, CYBR against Jackpot, and we're in for quite a treat. We're on Demon Dice, we have Prime Time, and we have Heavy Impact. Yoshi, what are you thinking about this one?
I'm thinking that all of Jackpot has taken Heavy Impact, and Cyberswipe is triple Prime Time. Super interesting, battle of ideals here. We've got this era goalie. We've got Alonso, who I'm pretty sure I've only ever seen on Mako rocking the IME goalie. Very exciting to see. Got a little bit of Finny midfield. A lot's going on. There's a lot to process, but Cyberswipe banned the Color Craze Vice, not letting that go through. But Color Craze on Estelle, still able to put it in, and all the chaos on the bottom side there. No Vice, no problem. It's still going to be putting out a ton of damage on this Heavy Impact Estelle and putting it in right there.
Yeah, exactly. And damage is going to be the name of the game, right? You're on a chaotic map like that. You're going to be looking for damage continuously as you see Zodi, which being taken really low there as well. Alpha Me getting put down to low HP as well, as Zoe's trying to get the finish there. Will find it with the ultimate as one barrier is down on the side of Jackpot. Still holding on to the second one for now, but a clean strike core from Expo-chan will take that off of Alonso. As Dysentaro now walks up, Color Craze really low, needs to be playing his life as well there, and will stay alive, will keep the evades, but the goal's gonna go in 1-1 now.
Yep, 1-1, a good showing from Cyberswipe. It looked a little rocky in that first point, but they're able to get that KO on Alpha Me, and I think without Alpha Me, Jackpot's gonna have a really tough time getting anything going. They have Rasmus Estelle, incredibly potent scoring comp, able to do a lot of damage. Oh, and a lot of damage has been done, and now has a massive advantage. It's a damage game. Whichever team gets KO first is going to be just eating it up right here. But Cyberswipe able to hold their barrier through most of the chaos. Now Expo-chan back, but now the net's open and they still have two barriers to get. Things are looking a little tough.
Looking and tough indeed, but again, these HP bushers flying so low so quickly as Zoe will find another great KO there. Will use the flip up front as well. Alpha Me positions properly to defend there as Assertive is playing an aggressive arrow line. Will get the core up front pretty quickly there, and they do get another score in. Assertive still has flip available for herself as well, which is going to help with keeping this barrier alive in his next point. We'll see if she's going to be able to play it out properly as we're going into the next kickoff here as well. And the attack immediately goes, and as in many points, damage is being dumped almost immediately. It's just so difficult to just kind of stay relevant and not lose your entire HP bar on kickoff, because you can see it again. Zoe just down to half HP, no evades, but the Finny ultimate will be enough to take a single barrier there. Second one following suit. Not quite yet, actually, as now Zoe's fighting for her life. She will take the barrier, though. Alonso forced to use the flip to stay alive. Will get it out. Expo-chan now on the Finny, gonna try to run up here as well, make use of the flip, but will not find it yet, as Zoe's still fighting for her life. One barrier now dropping. Alpha Me finding that angle there. Color Craze also just very low. An incredibly chaotic match. Incredibly volatile, and Expo-chan in the end will find the flip there to get the goal in for Cyberswipe to take this first set.
Yeah, and Expo-chan just getting in there, able to weave the flip and thread the needle there. And it was looking incredibly narrow. That shot's super impressive. But here, Reptile Remedy on the first draft. Every draft this game is going to be so important. I mean, like every game, welcome to Omega Strikers. But in this game where damage is so prevalent, being able to pick up that survivability or just more damage. I'm looking at explosive missile prop. Also just great pickups. Here we see, again, Reptile going to Zoe the Witch. More stagger for the Zentaro character. a lovely thing if you're Zoe. That's just a game changer, especially with the siphoning launch, trying to stay alive a little bit. A little bit of prime time, too. Just got a whole lot going. Alpha Me picking up some size. Recovery drone, no less. And that extra size just makes this game so much easier for Jackpot, because those are the barriers down. And Alonso also picking up extra special. Every kickoff is going to be super Jackpot favored. Gonna be tough as Alpha Me weaves in there, able to get that strike to the bottom corner. And already we're seeing the payout that Jackpot's getting here.
Yeah, most definitely. And the recovery drone is also going to help Alpha Me with just getting that extra life, right? It nullifies one KO, which is going to be it can be the difference maker. Again, it kind of depends on how kickoffs goes, because a lot of damage is being dumped. Expochan, again, down to half HP, no evades either, but the Finny ultimate will be there in place to take the barrier. Cyberswipe, however, still not looking incredibly healthy here, as though he tries to get the outplay going there. Does not quite find the Color Craze down to Stagger now. Will have 2 evades to be working with, and now Zoe the Witch trying to be greedy for that KO. Will not find it. Will have to use the flip there as well to stay alive. Not how you want to be using your energy at that point, as a barrier will be found by Alphamy. Assertive now getting the clear out. Will have a flip soon as well if she does need to use it. The grand finish coming through, but not finding the proper angle there, as the attack's going to be built again at that size on the Rasmus. It's just being so oppressive, just being everywhere, making it difficult for Assertive to get a proper angle going out on the defense there, as again a KO is going to be found for Cyberswipe. This entire ultimate stopping the core there as they're trying to set themselves up properly again, and a huge card coming out from Expochan to get that KO. Finny showing her strengths in the KO department again, as we are back to an even game state in this set.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit a crazy half-court shot, took out the goalie there. It's going to be a great way to score, and really, we're just seeing Alphamy get chipped down right now. I was going to say, a lot of damage has been going on to Color Craze through these points. Cyberswipe kind of focusing their efforts there, but Alphamy taking the brunt of it. Seems like anyone can have a piece of it, you know? What I really like about the Cyberswipe comp, though, oh no, is that they're, not that their goalie's dead, but it's that anytime Expochan gets low, they have 2 goalies, and they're able to swap them out. You know, Assertive can walk up and use all that speed that Era has to get through, and it's been really nice. It's been really working for them. And with the big KO and the net open, this is looking like Cyberswipe's point to win.
Yeah, they're in every single position to be taking this point here, as well as Alonso will find a beautiful clear out, though, flip coming out from Zoe there. And even though the point was being found for Cyberswipe there, I think you're pretty happy if you're the side of Jackpot, because at least you were able to force out this flip for Zoe. She does not have that available in this next point anymore, which is going to make taking these barriers a little bit more difficult. Across the board, though, a lot of low evade bars, which means damage dumping again is going to be the name of the game, as you see it right there as well. Alphamy forced to use his only evade there to stay alive, but the offense is just not letting up. That Finny ultimate excellently placed, takes a barrier, sets themselves up to get a goal, and Cyberswipe in another like dominant set in the second one.
Yeah, just Finny on this map is so strong. You just get so rewarded for having this 25-second cooldown. Click it on the barrier, good. And I think this is going to be a super surge onto this Centauro or fight or flight. Hey, that's more abilities, more speed, which is nice. There's Zoe not having mag souls or slick kicks. Is going to need to make up in that department somewhere. But that's Might of Colossus going to Alphamy. A lot of power is going to be hitting this guy. And with Jackpot able to get these KOs already, that extra power is going to be pretty impactful. More power on Alonso as well with the Spark, and Color Craze picking up the Super Surge. On the other side, though, Assertive able to pick up team player, that could seal out the game. We'll have to see. As long as Cyberswipe is able to stay on the field long enough to make the team player get value. But I don't know, the offense from Jackpot is looking incredibly potent right now.
Yeah, they got a really nice setup there to get themselves the barrier, to get the goal in as well. And the team player will be making a difference just to make it even more chaotic, right? We're in a KO heavy game. We're on a heavy impact starter on Demon Dice. Like, it's always going to be chaotic. So as soon as you have even more core speed in the game as well, it's gonna make it a lot more difficult. As both barriers will actually be taken out by the side of Cyberswipe there. They will be KO'd though. Expochan finding the edge of the map there, but Zoe is going to try to walk up with his Intaro flip here. Will use it aggressively to dash. Does not quite find the core, but still, you're in a great position. Color Craze needs to be careful not to be taken out outright here, as the Staggers are getting low. A nice strike one will take the first barrier. Second one still being alive. Assertive will have a flip here as well. Alphamy in a difficult position because he doesn't really want to be using that flip for survivability, but at this point he might have to, because he's just being put down into Stagger. Recovery drone procced, but still low, right? You can still have a lot of damage being pumped out by Assertive, Expochan, and Zoe here. here, and it's just kind of turning into a survivability game between both of the brawlers as they're just taking so much damage continuously, which makes it very difficult for them to play out. Barrier still holding strong on the side of CYBR. The Seraph will still have that flip, needs to use it here, as alphamy is going to try to set himself up, but never mind. The Finny will be able to deliver the core all the way up to Zoe there, and a nice primary from Zentaro will secure the goal.
Yeah, a little slice and dice action. It will stun Alonso there. Very well done. Yeah, we're seeing... Oh no, alphamy get a lot of these edge KOs. Super impressive, but what I'm looking at is this era pick able to just shrink alphamy, shut down all of his size. I believe he loses a ton of power when he gets shrunk as well with the Might of Colossus. And honestly, the era pick is just looking really, really nice. Well, I was going to say because she gets a lot of opportunity to push up, and the beam is coming out earlier, which makes the defense look way better. But unfortunately, pushed up a little bit too far, and Jackpot was able to break through, get a pass to alphamy, and score, bringing them to set point, which means that Jackpot could start their comeback right here, right now. Big mountain to climb, but you know, all it takes is a trickle, and if this is what they need, then things are looking good for them.
They very much would look really good for him, as a flip from Alonso will come out to take one barrier there, but CYBR still has a lot of utensils, or abilities here to kind of just hold on to this defense. They also get the second barrier there with clean and smart strikes, and the Finny ultimate will be placed again just properly in front of the net. There's not really anything you can do to get that core out there anymore without just risking dying as well. So CYBR now putting themselves into a really good position to just take this game one already. They're just one goal away, and if you're Jackpot, you do need to find these barriers now as quickly as possible, because you don't want to be having this point snowball out of your control, at least to as much as you can handle, as alphamy takes a lot of damage again, but one crucial barrier found there. Color Chris will find a second one as well. Jackpot now trying to set themselves up to get this goal in as well. Both of their barriers are still up. They're looking pretty grand on the defensive side there, as the strikes will be found for CYBR. The KO will be found. Alphamy taken off. Zoe with clean Zentaro strikes though will take one barrier, will take the second, will use the flip on Expo-chan, and with that flip she will be able to secure CYBR this game 1 victory.
And yeah, no Imi on their team, but CYBR able to take the victory nonetheless. Really well done. I think that their team comp was just super potent, and they played to it incredibly well. Zoe was all over the place, just 4 KOs, able to get a lot of value out of Zentaro, who was first picked. Like, heavy impact, Demon Deus, like, put the Zentaro in the bag. They did. And again, I like the Era and Finny in the back. Just did a great job. Expo-chan with 5 goals. Getting a little active, pushing up. Really well played. But I think that's going to be it for game 1. Anything else you want to mention?
I just feel like there's way less kills than I would have expected it to, but it kind of just was the name of the game as well, right? There's a lot of KOs happening, a lot of damage happening, but in the end, they came down to strike wars and positioning, and I think CYBR just did a better job this game 1 here. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up. We can get ready for Clarion. I think that's up next, right?
Yeah, yippee!
And we are loading into game 2, as mentioned before. Clarion, Test Chamber, our starting awakenings, our Big Fish and Orb Replicator, and there is an Orb Replicator pickup, Assertive rocking it on Drakara goalie here. We love to see it.
Yeah, and everyone else looking mighty large today on the Test Chamber. Just a whole heap and helping of massive strikers. We're seeing both brawlers lock in the same pick as last game, and definitely like every character is good with size. Today I'm bigger, and then every brawler is even better with size. All of my awesome melee abilities are way bigger, but here alphamy on the Rasmus definitely a little bit better with the size than Zentaro, able to get both barriers, and Zoe looking a little low, almost gets knocked out, able to live with that Oni's blade. But here CYBR going on the offensive, looking for something, but it's just completely staggered. Not what you would expect out of their comp, especially into this comp, but just not able to get the barrier shut down by the flip. KO came out. Jackpot really just, this point 1 going crazy. The flip sending it in first point, barely missing overtime, and what an explosive start.
Yeah, incredibly aggressive as well, making it a statement point as well, saying, hey, look, that game one didn't really go in our favor there, but we're not down and out just yet. We will take that point, and we're going to hopefully ride that momentum even further, as we're back to a pretty neutral game state now. One barrier being found by Zoe there, a second one being found by Expo, as they're trying to set themselves up to take the goal in the end. But this time around, Alonso is on a defensive goalie pick, is on that Mako, who's going to be able to lock it down, and that he did there as well. As not a barrier down on CYBR, yet the strikes will be found. Alphamy almost gets one out there, but does not find it. Sort of an Expo doing such a good job defensively there, as Zoe tries to get it past Alonso, but the backstep will be enough to keep up that defense. One barrier now found to speed up from Mako coming out, helping Alphamy with a bit of mobility there, but the cyber swipe from Expo Chen just on brand, finds the KO. Zoe, beautiful flip there as well to secure the goal, and as often before, Jackpot was the first team to strike with the goals, but CYBR pretty quick to even it out yet again.
Yeah, definitely not a team to hold back, and here we see 2 flips for them. Zoe using the last one to score, but no flips needed, just another cyber swipe for cyber swipe. Slam dunking onto the enemy goalie there, getting another point. And that one was fat. That was like 9 seconds.
That one was incredibly efficient as well, by the way. Like, no abilities, just going into dead air there. As we are back on the point again, both flips now out on the side of cyber swipe. They do try to get an attack going here. Zoe trying to go with a bit of outplay potential on that ultimate. Will find one barrier, but obviously Mako as a defensive goalie would rather hold one barrier over trying to hold 2 anyway, so I don't think they really care about it that much. The Amy turret will come out. The KO found by Zoe there actually with that Zentaro primary. Flip will have to come out from Alonso to hold on to this point. Astrakar will find that clear out again. Now sort of Ben has to do some work here, gets the core away though. Alphamy not able to set himself up to get the attack going how he would like, but Color Craze is going to be able to get that barrier there. So he trying to answer it almost immediately. The flip comes out as well, and a nice secure. Again, another set going in favor of cyber swipe.
Yeah, I really want to shout out how Zoe's been using these core flips. They've all just been right on the line. You know, like basically guaranteeing that the ball will be going into the net. And I think that's something, it takes a lot of discipline to sit there and hold on to your flip that tightly. It feels so nice to show up and flip from a little bit further back. You know, say like more risk, more reward. You know, if I push up too far, you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
yeah, just incredible discipline. Big fan of that. We don't see that a whole lot. It's even in Nassau, so just really big fan of that. Anyway, we had a whole draft. Zoe picking up Reptile Remedy, I think big pick there again. You know, always nice to be surviving a little bit longer. Double size for Expo-chan. Big Amy on the field. And Alonso picked up 1-2 punch. Alphamy on heavy impact. It looks like Jackpot is rolling for damage here, trying to counter these low stagger, I guess just Zentaro, but they're trying to fight back here, which I like a lot. I think it's going to pay out for them really well, as they've taken both barriers and popped the recovery drone already.
That is huge value that they got the recovery drone pop as early as they did, because that means for the rest of the point it's not going to come into play anymore. But there's going to be 2 flips on the side of cyber swipe here, and they're probably looking to use them immediately. One comes out, gets answered by Alonso. Zoe still has a flip as well though, and will use it here to secure the KO. Incredible value coming out there for cyber swipe with their flips.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, they have this orb rep goalie in the back, feeding them like 2% more energy. Could be relevant. I have no idea. I'm sure someone's done the numbers on orb rep already, but you know, I haven't. I don't know, but you know, on paper, I like the idea. You show up, you get all that extra energy, and again, with how cyber swipe's been using their core flips, that sounds awesome. Assertive has one sitting here as all barriers have gone down. Both nets open. A couple power plays have hit the field. This point's going crazy right now.
Yeah, the kills both found on both sides there. Assertive will be able to catch that flip from AlphaMe, not the angle that AlphaMe was hoping for, as the attack now immediately translates over to Cyberswipe. Expochan walking up, Zoe covering any kind of clear potential, but Alonso will be able to find it there. The Drakkar ultimate coming through, Molten Bolt doing that damage, keeping the core up front as Zoe's gonna get increasingly low. Again, you mentioned it beforehand, the team comp that you didn't really expect to be playing for KO as much, it's just finding it now, especially with all of their Awakening pickups that they were able to find. The flip comes out from Zoe there and doesn't hit anything, unfortunately, as Color Craze will be able to secure the goal and even it out this set. And Jackpot had a really good point there, but they gotta be able to keep it up now in this next one as well. They gotta keep this momentum, and it's looking good in terms of momentum because Assertive just used a flip there, probably not what she was looking for, as the attack is going to be built again on this Atlas map here. Both barriers down on the side of Cyberswipe, as Zoe's going to try to get a pass, but Color Craze and Alonso just doing such a good job defensively, not giving that space for Centauro to really be making those plays that he would be looking for. A flip comes out from Alonso, unfortunately finds its own barrier there though, as the Amy turret will be back into play. Expochan will have a flip, will use it for a KO confirm and the barrier, as the attack is continuously being sustained by the side of Cyberswipe. Core going up again, but AlphaMe finds the angle to get it out, get that extra little bit of time that could be the difference maker. But a beautiful strike from Zoe will find it in between AlphaMe and Alonso there for Cyberswipe to go up 2-1.
Yeah, really well played. Great strike, weaving it right in between both the members of Jackpot. And now Cyberswipe is up this set, looking really strong. I wouldn't say dominant after that first point. Again, Jackpot had a really strong point, and it's just all of these points have been really close. You know, we see it's not like Cyberswipe shows up, takes both their barriers, and then it's GG. It's Cyberswipe, you know, might get double barriered every once in a while, might be facing some power plays, but they're still able to seal it out in the end. And I think that's the difference, is that they're able to secure these points, whereas I think Jackpot is not quite as efficient in doing so and is struggling because of it.
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially because you're going up against something like a Drakkar as well. Drakkar with that shotgun will just auto-win every single strike war that Assertive wants to win there. So you do have quite a wall to be going through there, but as of right now, Jackpot's still holding on to this point pretty well. So a huge strike from Alonso there coming out in the last second, actually, to keep the point alive. Clear will be found out as well there, as Zoe's going to try to get herself set up, but no, AlphaMe there to interrupt it early enough, as now Mine almost does the work there, but the angle wasn't quite right. Alonso now trying to find the clear, gets it up to Zoe. Zoe outplays him a little bit there though, a really nice redirect there off the primary, not something that Alonso was able to react to, and another set going in favor of Cyberswipe. They're playing incredible today.
Yeah, just awesome. I believe that was a textbook board flick from the midfield coming out from Zoe. And now, double size Zen. This is now both forwards on Cyberswipe, Sport and double size. Might being picked up by AlphaMe, once again getting the build from last game. Heavy impact, a size awakening, and Might here. Going to be rocking 121 power, showing up. And Alonso picking up team player. That's 1-2 punch team player. Unlimited core speed coming out from Jackpot, along with the hot shot on Color Craze. Drakkar is a pretty decent goalie for dealing with all the core speed. You know, able to shotgun anything that comes too quickly into the net, but still pretty difficult to deal with overall, especially for the forwards trying to catch all these fast cores. Gonna be tough, as really they didn't pick up a whole lot in the draft other than, you know, Timeless Amy, which is great. Let's be very clear, it's great, but it's not quite as good as, like, team player melee goalie, you know? Doesn't matter, though. Just Assertive is getting active there, running in, shotgunning, helping Zoe with the interactions, who will be putting it in the end.
Yeah, well, definitely. The nice thing about having the team player in the 1-2 punch for Alonso is that the core is going to leave your field very fast, yes. However, Cyberswipe has been playing so well positionally that I feel like it's going to be difficult to really find these angles to even make use of that team player, because Expochan and Zoe are just playing so oppressive up front, which doesn't really give any kind of great angles for Alonso, as they again take both barriers in a pretty quick manner. The Zentaro there is going to hold the core, almost gets to confirm with it as well, as flip has to come up by Alonso. Color Craze getting close to his own flip now, probably wants to use it to get the momentum shift going in this point, as Assertive will find an incredibly important flip there to not lose both of the barriers there. Expo back on the offense here now with Zoe. Turret coming down, gonna cut the field in half. Flip comes out from Zoe. KO found by Expo, but Alonso still holding on to the point. The strike will be enough though. Color Craze indicating not having the flip there, or not using it. A bit unfortunate, but I mean, CyberSwipe's just being so oppressive, it's so difficult to play into them right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just everywhere. Again, all of their flips have been incredibly on point. That flip last point, blocking the double barrier. Another KO found by Expo on the CyberSwipe, more accurate, and just they're putting up so much pressure. Their defense is looking unbreakable, and they're just containing the core so well. You know, no amount of core speed is going to stop when they're spreading the floor, covering every angle, all of that. Like, Expo is just always able to dash in, you know, find the core, get in the right spot, and Zoe is always there, positioned on the offense perfectly. You know, what they have going on, they're down a barrier. They're down, their net's open, and they're playing defense, but still just, like, they're never out until the goal goes into their net.
Yeah, and it's just not going into the net, right? They're just going from this defensive into attacking position so well, doing it so quickly as well, as Zoe will find the flip there. Expo still will have a flip. The Amy turret is going to be very annoying to be dealing with, as the timeless creator is going to be behind it. The flip comes out, Expo secures it, and another 3-0 game for CyberSwipe to take this series. Incredible performance for them coming out today, as they win the series in a quick and just controlled 2-0.
Yeah, really well played by CyberSwipe, and I believe that means that they are 3-0 in the season overall. This is a team to watch out for. If you're watching NASA and you're like, I don't know who to win, I don't know who to vote for, like, CyberSwipe is one of the top contenders here. They're showing up, playing exceptionally well, and I think they have a great shot at winning it all. A like insane success story, going from almost missing Nasty last season to doing phenomenally in NASA. This is a team that's been on the come up for a while, and I think if there's ever a time to, you know, jump in on the CyberSwipe train, now's a great time. That being said, great game played by CyberSwipe. Jackpot also, I hate doing this where it's like, great job to both teams, because obviously no one wants to hear that. Like, it's difficult to lose, you know, but I don't think Jackpot's out of it yet. They've had to face a lot of really tough teams early on in the season, and so, you know, a loss to CyberSwipe, hard to feel bad about that. Not impossible, let's be clear, but I think Jackpot is still in it. I would not count them out. Again, every point was really close. They were able to get the barriers. They were looking really strong. Having to face 3 super strong teams in the first like block of the season is really tough. So, shout out to them. I'm still rooting for them. I believe in Jackpot. Positivity for everyone, you know. It's tough, but I'm a believer. Never give up, etc. And that's all I have. I'm talking for a little bit. Sloth, what do you think?
I mean, I just agree with you, obviously, right? CyberSwipe had a really good showing, deserved 3-0 at this start, and Jackpot, yeah, I mean, your weeks 1 through 3 were Dragon Slayers 2, Oncoming Traffic, and now CyberSwipe. You have not got up against an opponent yet that has lost a series. So, yeah, rough start. Gotta find that momentum in the next week, and looking good. I mean, for both sides, right? Again, CyberSwipe here to win the season, playing excellently as well. And Jackpot, even though they have a little bit of starting problems now, I'm sure they're going to be able to pick it up next week as well. But in this series today, CyberSwipe ended up being the better team. And I mean, no shame in that, right? Season's long for both teams. So we'll see how it's going to pan out. But a great series overall.
Yep, I absolutely agree. And I think that's it for this one. So stay tuned. It looks like next match is going to be ADR versus HMG. That sounds like an awesome match. So, hey, stay tuned for that. We'll see you then. Bye.